everybody. My name is Star, aka Star J. Welcome back to Creatives Around the World, a series that's under our podcast, The Underground Station, a special initiative under Nothing But the Arts Incorporated. Today, I have a special guest here sitting with me. We have Tina Carzon. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Star?
I'm doing pretty good. Welcome to Nothing But the Arts, our special segment of Creatives Around the World. You yourself, a creative. I'm so happy to really just dive deep into, who you are, your music, and your journey.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. So I want to just jump right into it. So you were born in the Philippines, and now you reside here in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Could you just tell us a little bit about how it's been growing up here, your environment, your childhood environment, growing up, and, were there any, musically inclined people around you?
So I come from a family of musicians, my entire life. And so moving here in DC, it's actually been really life-changing because I've met so many DMV artists all around the DMV in general. But yeah, it's been really welcoming, and I love the music scene here in the community that's been created in the DMVs.
Yeah. It's a lot of culture out here, a lot of, creatives out here. And I love connecting with, creatives out here.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you really get into music? Where did that come from?
So I actually used to go to the studio with my brother a lot, and I was kind of just behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I got really inspired and was maybe it doesn't hurt to start my own thing, my own music.
Yeah.
And so ever since I think 2016 was when I released a SoundCloud EP, and it was just for free, and I released my first single later on in Spotify and all the platforms. So
is that when you first noticed your voice, or when was it oh, I can actually sing?
Yeah, I think back in 2016, that's when I started actually making music. Myself. So
yeah. And I read just about you that you know how to play the guitar, the piano, and you taught yourself.
Yeah.
How was that? How did you do that?
It's all self-taught. I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos, learning basic chords on the guitar. But I've been playing piano since I was 4 years old, and but I never really got the chance to really dive into sheet music, reading sheet music.
Yeah.
That was always so hard for me, and my mom even taught me.
Yeah.
But it's just too complicated. But I've been playing since then. Everything I do, I play by ear. So all the songs I learn. But yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I used to play the violin, and I enjoyed it, but I kind of enjoyed making music on my own and not reading the sheet music. So I totally understand when you're saying, the sheet music can be hard, and it's just, sometimes not the direction that we all want to go in. We just want to create our own stuff. Our own stuff. So do you remember your first ever performance, and how was that? Tell us about that.
My first ever performance, I want to say in the Philippines, I was I don't know, I was probably 7 years old, and I was told to play piano because I could play Canon in D. I don't know if you've heard of that song. And my mom was yeah, you should do this. It was for a swimming competition or something, or some event, and I dressed up, and it was cool, but I was really shy.
Really?
Compared to how I am now on stage. Really comfortable, but I was just very reserved and shy on stage, but I loved it, so it was fun.
I was about to say, I see your videos of you performing, and it seems like it's very free flowing to you now.
It's very freeing.
Nice. So what age did you come here from the Philippines?
I came here when I was maybe I think 8 years old.
And how was that? How was just coming here to a new environment?
Culture shock. I was I've never seen snow, so I was excited to see snow, and then it was I think around 2010 was the blizzard was happening. So I was this is cool.
That was a big blizzard.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest storms that we had.
Yeah. Okay. What is it about music that makes you feel so passionate?
I think I really enjoyed the process in general, like the process of making it from like scratch. So I produce a lot of my own stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then now I also have a producer who's helping me with that. So yeah, I think just the process is really like my favorite part about it, and yeah.
Okay, nice. Do you have any hobbies outside of music? I know people like to, skate, dance, or anything like
I
that.
actually do that.
Oh, really?
Skateboarding,
Okay.
dancing, and I also do photography and
Nice.
printmaking. So I actually have
Talk about
prints
your
here.
Talk about your pictures.
Yeah. So this was actually the most recent one that I've done.
Mhm.
It's a sampaguita, so national flower of the Philippines.
Okay.
So yeah, I love. I actually learned how to do it back in like 2020 when the pandemic was happening.
Wow.
And so I just kind of like dove right into it, and yeah.
You just learned?
Yeah.
Wow. Like, I just feel like you can teach yourself to do anything.
Yeah, for sure. I actually want to kind of do like a linoleum printmaking class or something. I don't know, like maybe like host like a little get together with friends or something.
Nice. And what does this one here represent?
This is the heart. I had a lot of fun doing this one because like a lot of the details, the lines, I'm like obsessed with details and intricate.
Nice. Well, it's always great to have hobbies and to just get into things outside of your passion and stuff. So that's really nice. Were there any like challenges you had to face just growing up and really getting into being an artist?
Challenges, I would say. I mean, in general, it's hard to. I feel like in general, like you just have to have a community. And I didn't really have that when, like in the music scene at least. I feel like it was kind of hard to be around like in an environment where like you felt like it was kind of like it felt a little lonely. But eventually I was able to build my own community, and now I'm surrounded by a lot of people who are passionate about the same things that I am. So I think communities, like I'm huge on that, and it's really important to I feel like as an artist in general.
Indeed. And how did you present yourself to the community as a new artist? How did you bring yourself out?
I think just like encouraging people to do what they're passionate about, and like just sharing the resources, and I mean, what I feel like with community, you don't have to expect anything back, but it's always nice to receive and give, and like, and that's what it's all about. So.
Yeah, indeed. I for sure, as a nonprofit owner, I know about just giving back and making sure people feel special as well. So just getting more into a little bit about you as an artist, making music, performing, and just your growth overall. When it comes to your music, do you typically write all your music? What is that process like?
So I do write, like I wrote most of the stuff like from my first album that I did in 2019, To Be Continued. I wrote most of that with the help of my brother and Nico, and like most of the stuff I write myself, and with the newest project I had some help with some friends. So it's an interesting process because like I think it's better with collaborations, to be honest, because like you can bounce off ideas with each other. So
definitely agree. Creativity is all around us, all around the world. So bouncing off each other is a good idea, and I know that's probably helping you a lot as well. So any celebrities or musicians that you're a fan? I know you said Sade, and like I love Sade. My dad, he used to play Sade all the time as I was growing up, so I definitely know her music. But what type of celebrities or artists have inspired you?
So definitely Sade. I don't know if you've heard of Enya.
Sounds familiar.
Enya, she's like this worldly, like just has like a really healing, like ethereal sound.
Okay.
Which inspired like my first album.
Okay.
And Joe Beam, Antonio Carlos Joe Beam, Astrud Gilberto, bossanova artists. And yeah, just a lot of those artists that I look up to.
Yeah.
And kind of shape my sound.
Yeah, I was about to say, would you say like those artists have helped you to kind of find your flow and your style?
Yeah, definitely inspires my sound. Most of it. Yeah.
And what would you categorize yourself as anything like any type of genre or style or anything like that?
You know, I'm not like a big fan of that question because I don't like to box myself in when it comes to that question. But I would say like multi-genre, but I do feel like I lean more into the R&B, neo soul, and bossa nova.
Yeah. Okay. So your first single, "Healing," in 2018, so long ago, very long ago. How did that project make you feel, and you know, how did it shape you to be who you are today?
The first single, I mean, that was. I honestly was hesitant about releasing that because I was like, this is my first one. I don't really know. Like, it's pretty short.
Yeah.
But Nico actually helped make that. Nico's my sound engineer at Sweet Spot Studio. He helped make that song come to life, basically, with his he also plays saxophone.
Okay.
So it's a cool song. Like, I still love it. It's my first single that I've released on streaming platforms, but definitely kind of outgrown it, but it's still my baby. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's your first one.
Yeah,
first one. Definitely. Your first project, To Be Continued, 2019, your first EP. Again, like I told you earlier, amazing voice. You know, your voice is just so flowing, and you know, you can relax to it and everything like that. How did you feel creating that project? You know, tell us a little bit about that process for that project.
So I didn't really plan on making a whole album like out of that. I think I was just like trying to make a bunch of songs together and seeing like what would come out of it. But then there was kind of that theme of self-love and healing in that project. So I think I was like, why not make it into a whole album? So I mean, I love that album, but it's also one of my outgrown projects. You know, like when you just have like art, I guess like some other stuff that you've done, or you just kind of outgrow that. It's kind of like a phase, but
I hear that from a lot of artists.
But it's still my baby, so my first album. I just feel like I could have done a better rollout for it in terms of like marketing it. But it's been a journey.
And how do you market your projects and your albums and your singles? How do you market yourself?
Well, now I have my manager Mackenzie helping me with all of that. But it's a whole process. We have like this media strategy sheet of just like pitching it to different platforms, and it's a whole thing. Like it's a lot mentally and like physically, because like you kind of have to make sure that everything is being sent out, every email. So
would you say it's been hard to create EPs and albums? Has that, rather than singles, has that been pretty hard for you?
Well, I feel like I want to release more singles, but I do like the idea of having a whole thing, because I'm just like, I love a whole body of work. I love doing that. But it is harder because it takes more time and like studio time, and just like a lot more things that goes into making a whole body of work. So definitely harder, but it's worth it.
I was gonna say why a lot of artists tend to like singles better than just creating albums or EPs, but you gotta just already answer it. But I guess it is a lot of work into putting the whole project together.
I think because singles, like, it's easier to pitch to like editorials, so it's also like, because once you release like a single, then it's easier to market, you know. But yeah.
Nice. Okay, what is your favorite song you would say on To Be Continued?
And To Be Continued, I would say Everlasting.
Okay.
I like the production that I did on there.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like that's my favorite song.
Okay, nice. Any video projects coming, soon, or with this project?
With To Be Continued.
Any video projects?
So I actually was, I did have some ideas about like making music videos from that project for any of the songs. But I kind of like, since I've outgrown that project, I'm just kind of like, it's time to work on like new ones. But who knows? Maybe I will go back to it and like make something out of it. You know?
Yeah. I just wanted to say, your song "Still Here," beautiful song, and it kind of reminded me of Alina Baraz. I don't know.
Oh yeah, really?
I love her. I was like,
so cool.
This is giving me that type of vibe, and I really loved it.
I haven't heard that one, Alina Baraz. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely love it. So what is it like performing on stage? How do you get a vibe with your audience? Because I watched one of your videos, and it just seemed like the audience really connected with you.
So I usually try to engage in the sense where I'm like, promoting my music, or like just like social media, like following whatever, and also just like, I don't know, I feel maybe because I'm more comfortable now on stage performing, but I just try to get a vibe off the audience and see how it goes from there. But it's pretty natural now, I think. And I do a lot of so far sound shows, and just trying to perform more on bigger stages. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems really natural to you. Like, it seems like you zone out and just connect really with your inner self, and then like the audience kind of just resonates with that, and it's a nice.
It's the best feeling.
Yeah, I was like,
I feel like I'm a different person.
I have to see you perform live.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I have one coming up August 19th with Bo Young Prince. I don't know if you've heard of him, but it's gonna be at Union Stage, and it's a bunch of artists. We have like Pinky the Rapper, Lord Francis, Trilla K. So
nice,
a cool lineup.
Nice. Do you have like any crazy performance story or anything to tell?
I actually, I don't know if I have any like crazy performance. I would say leading up to it, I almost missed the show because I overslept.
Oh wow.
It was a So Far show, and it was like the first time that I'm doing a So Far show since like 2019, because it was like the pandemic, like I took a break. But like this was like December of 2022, so like recently, and it was like my first So Far show, like back, like getting back into performing, and like I was just like passed out. I was like, I couldn't wake up. I came from work. It was a Friday, and so I came from work. I was like, I'm gonna take a nap. I didn't tell Mackenzie I was taking a nap. I should have, but so I could set an alarm. But I just overslept, and then she was banging on my door, and then it's like I couldn't hear. I was passed out, and it got to the point where my brother, like, she called my brother.
Oh wow.
She called my brother. She was like trying to get a hold of me, and I wouldn't pick up. And then finally I wake up. I'm like, oh no, I have a show. I forgot. And so I opened the door. I was like, what time is it? Like, what is going on? I just felt so like disconnected. But
did you miss it?
I did. I didn't miss it. No, I made it.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I was worried that I wouldn't have like sound check or anything, but I made it just in time. So
nice. Well, that's good. That's good. Before we talk about your latest album, Dose, are there like any artists or celebrities that you hope to work with one day?
One day, I would love to collaborate with Orion's Son. Okay. I don't know if you've heard of her. Daybul. It would be cool to collaborate with Domi and JD Beck, this like jazz duo. They're super cool. And I would love to open for Ravina. Okay. I don't know if you've heard of her.
I haven't heard of her.
She's great.
You're dropping a lot of names that I have to.
Oh yeah. Definitely get to know them.
Okay, nice. So your 2023 latest album, latest EP, Dose. How was that project for you? Like, tell us a little bit about that project and the creation of it.
So Dose is an EP of like 7 tracks, and it really highlights vulnerability and intimacy within like yourself and any type of relationship that you've been in. So it's really a passion project, to be honest, and it's one of my favorite projects that I released. So
nice.
Yeah.
What was your favorite song?
I think my favorite song, I'm gonna say the title track, Those.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really cool. That was actually kind of a last minute song, because I was like, I want to end this EP and just make it like all have like transition to like a, I don't know, like a theme of the EP. So it was perfect.
Yeah. And why the name Dose?
So in this song, you actually hear me saying, when you won't get another dose of me. And so that song is actually one of my favorite songs that I've written, because it basically focuses on the idea that, like anyone who has ever had access to you, you shouldn't have let that happen. So, just
cut them off.
Won't get another dose of me.
Cut them off. Yes, I love it. So I have a note here that I said I like Skin to Skin. Sorry if I pronounced their name wrong. Adobo and Nikki Wood on your latest album. How did that collaboration come about?
It's funny because so we were at the studio, and my friend Adobo, who's a rapper and producer and DJ, we were in the studio, and he just was like, he made this instrumental within like 10 minutes. And so that was crazy, and we were just playing around in the studio, and like I kind of came up with a hook like on the spot, and then later on wrote to it. But it was just kind of like it was kind of like a last minute collaboration, but it was cool because we made it into magic.
Nice. I really like that one.
Yeah, and my friend Nikki Wood added bossanova chords to it, so it made the song like feel more complete.
Yeah. It's definitely a vibe. I like it, guys. Check it out. What are you looking to do more of in 2023?
2023, I definitely want to perform outside of the DMV, because I haven't done that yet. Coming soon though, it's in the works. And I definitely want to do more festivals, like music festivals. That would be cool. Eventually, that's when I'm like full-time music and
Before I close this off a little bit here, I just have a few more questions for you. So you're in a group called the Wizards. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So Wizards, it's spelled WRIZZARDS, but it's actually Washington Wizards. It's a play off of like the basketball team, Washington Wizards. Because like you've heard of the term Riz, right?
Yeah.
Like charisma. We got featured in the Washington Post, but that was honestly just like a joke at first, and we kind of made like an Instagram, and people were like, they loved it. So I was like, all right, let's make this into something. And so it's my friends Lee, Bema, Tati, Jay, Maddie, and I. It's a musical collective. We're not a band. So it's kind of like similar to Dreamville or 88 Rising on the food. So we all do our own thing, and we kind of help each other elevate and support each other's shows and stuff.
That's beautiful. I love that creatives can get together just to support each other and help each other elevate.
Yeah.
I love that. Nice. Well, actually, we have to check you guys out.
Yes, for sure.
What can we expect from you in the future?
More collaborations and more upcoming projects in the works, so stay tuned.
Okay. Every time that I like to interview creatives, just being a nonprofit and specializing in, our mission is to promote the arts and the media and, really make sure they are playing a vital part in communities and schools. Why would you say, the arts is important for it to be in communities and schools?
I think without the arts or media in general, like we wouldn't be where we are today. I feel like there's art all around us. So I think that's really important and essential to a lot of communities and schools. And I mean, you can't really escape art. I feel like it's always gonna be there.
Right. Yeah, definitely always around us, everywhere, across the world.
Yeah, exactly.
How can we keep supporting you? And just any last final words you would like to tell everyone?
Come to the shows, listen to my music, stream those, and buy my merch. Start making. But yeah, and come talk to me. I'm pretty chill.
Okay. Well, Tina, I really thank you for coming on our show, Under the Underground Station, our special segment, Creatives Around the World. I really appreciate you, and if there's anything that we can do to continue to support you, or speak at your shows, promoting your music, of course we will do that. But if anything else, please let me know. And just wishing you all of the best on your journey as an artist.
Thank you so much, Star, for
You're
having
welcome.
me. And thank you, Nothing But the Arts, for having me.
Thank you.